Welcome back to the Global Local Top Tips, and today, braised lamb. A leg of lamb slowly braised in liquor for 4 hours till it's juicy and tender. Let's get stuck in. So to get started here with our lamb, I've got a lamb leg today, and the bone is in. Now you could use a leg of lamb, boned and rolled, completely up to you. It'll make zero difference. And with this lamb, the shank is still left on there, and the butcher will do that for you. He'll just cut it off, and I'm just gonna leave it in there. And I'm gonna place it to one side. This lamb leg is about 2.5 kilos. So when we're slowly braising it, it'll take about 4 hours. To that, I wanna add pepper. I want to add salt, and we're just going to push it aside for a second. To that, we also want to add some potatoes. Some potatoes we're going to do a little bit differently today. We're just going to cut little grooves in them. We're not even going to go all the way into the center. We're just going to mark lines in them so it'll split up. And this just gives just a different presentation on the potato than usual. Another potato dish that would be really good for this lamb would be Layonnaise potatoes, and I've done a video on that previously. And that is just a fantastic dish to go with this. But because this lamb is going to be slow cooked, it's almost like a wet dish. I don't want another wet potato with it. I want something, either a roast potato or something crispy, just for a different texture. So then potatoes, I'm just gonna throw them around the roasting tin. Here I've got some lemons, and with the lemons I just want to cut them in half, and I'm just gonna plop them in beside the lamb. I don't need to squeeze it over them. I don't need to peel them. And I've got just little dessert lemons here, little small, little beautiful sweet lemons. Now to that, I want to add in a couple of onions, and these onions are just peeled. And I'm just going to half them. And again, just push them around the tin, giving them a little bit of room, but everything's just going to caramelize together. Now you could also do this in the slow cooker if you had a slow cooker big enough. But this is just a really nice way, because after 4 hours, some of the juices will start evaporating, and that lamb will crisp up on the outside, and that's just a beautiful way to finish it. In the slow cooker, it tends to stew a little bit more in its own juices and just doesn't have the same effect. To that, I'm gonna add in 2 bottles of beer and just put it around. And the nice thing about the beer is just, again, it's a different flavor. It goes really well with the lemons, and the potatoes will suck up all this flavor. When the lamb starts cooking, all that fat will render off. It'll all get mixed in there together. Now we're going to go back into with the salt and the pepper again. And we're just going to put a touch of olive oil, nothing crazy, maybe just a teaspoon, just over the top of the lamb. Now that we've got the oil on there, we're nearly ready to go. I've got some sage, rosemary and thyme here. You could use dry herbs if you wished, but I'm going to hold a little bit back of each one because I just want a little bit to finish it off at the end. And these then, you just strip them in. Don't need to chop them, don't need to do anything else, and you just put them right around. You don't need to cut into the meat. You don't need to try and get the flavour in there. Again, we're cooking this for 4 hours, not like a roast leg of lamb where you're really have just a minimum amount of time just to cook the meat and you're trying to get flavour in there. This, we're just going to slowly cook it. All them flavours will mingle in together. So now with the aluminium foil, just fold it down on one side, put it in, and you want a good overlap. And again, fold it down on one side, but And I'm folding it down on one side because I want to give it a little bit more strength when I'm tucking it in to the side of the tray. Because I want a decent seal on this. Hold it right in, nice and tight. Preheat your oven to 180 Celsius. I'm going to cook this for 4 hours. So our lamb is ready. It has had 4 hours in the oven. In the last 20 minutes, I just took the foil off the top just to let it crisp up the top of the lamb. It is so tender. This meat will just fall off the bone. So I'm just going to move it gently over to my board. And you can see that the potatoes have sucked up all that juice. And you can see how tender that is. That meat is just falling off there. This is just the end of the shank. And look at that. Just take that little crispy bit off the bottom. You don't want to waste it. And you can see that meat there just falling off the shank. Let's move our potatoes over. I can smell the lemon and the herbs. They're in there. And it's all caramelized at the bottom. Just all falling apart. We're going to bring over some of the onion. I'll just move that aside. Now with those herbs that I had left over, just want to sprinkle a little bit more just on the top, just ripping them apart. Don't have to go crazy on it. And then just a little bit of olive oil just over the potatoes and the lamb just to finish it off. And there you have it. My best slow cooked lamb. If you enjoy our videos and you'd like to support us in the future, please consider joining our Patreon group. There's some awesome extras, Q&A sessions, our upcoming cookbooks, and some unseen videos. Well, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below any videos you'd like to see in the future. Hit that like button, the subscribe button, and the bell icon. And we'll see you soon.